Welcome, everyone. My name is Mickey. Tonight's changeover training will be the beginner club executive training on a district website. My name is Mickey. I will be your host, and my co-host tonight is Michael.
Hi, Mickey. I'm very happy to be joining you today. Just as a note for everyone, I will be running a Q&A session after Mickey has finished wrapping up his portion of the webinar. So at any point during the webinar you have any questions, please go into your Zoom window. You will find a Q&A section that you can click on, and you can go ahead and answer or ask any questions that you may have. You may also see a chat window that is available for you. Please do feel free to use the chat to talk amongst yourselves. Please, if you want to, go ahead and post where you're joining us in today as well. We always love to see that. But please do go ahead and keep your questions in the Q&A section. I will be going through all of them and answering them throughout the course of the webinar, and I'll be picking out a handful as well so that we can discuss them live towards the end. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll pass it back to you, Mickey.
Michael. All right. So just some very brief overview. This is tonight's webinar. This webinar is for all club executives, whether you have ClubRunner whether you have a ClubRunner club subscription or not, all club executives across the district using the district website. My name is Mickey. This is my co-host Michael again. And so what we'll be doing tonight is we're just going to be going over some of the basics. This is the beginner webinar. We have an advanced webinar coming up shortly. So for today, we're going to be covering how to get access and how to log into the district. We're going to be exploring the 4 clubs top menu tab. I will show you where that is in just a moment. How will we add, edit, remove club executives? How will we terminate, transfer members? We want to edit the club's information. And we're going to give a very brief introductory overview to RI integration. So what I will do is I'm just going to pause for a moment and so what I've done is I have logged in to our district website. This is one of our demo district sites. It's not a real Rotary district site. It's what we use for demo and marketing purposes. No one's user information will be revealed today. Now I've already logged into the site. Pardon me. Now I cheated slightly. I'm logged in as a district administrator. You are, it's very likely you are not a district admin. The district administrator has the highest level of access in the district. We will be getting, slightly into district access levels. From step 1, you would go to your district homepage. I'm just going to show you an example of a district homepage. It's right here. So you'd go into your district homepage, you'd click on member login, and you'd log in to the district site. A very important note that I want to repeat is that tonight's training is for every club executive. Let's say your club, your Rotary Club, does not have its own ClubRunner club subscription. It does not matter. Sorry. All club executives can use the district website to perform the tasks that we're going to be showing tonight. I'm sorry about that, where this cough is coming from. So I've already clicked on member login. I'm going to click on this browser tab right here, and we're going to go back. There's one main tab that we're going to explore today. I'm going to make my screen just a touch bigger. Sorry about my coughing. The main tab that we're going to explore for tonight's webinar is the 4 clubs menu tab. The way that you navigate around ClubRunner, you click on one of these main menu tabs, admin or clubs, grants, and so on. I'm going to be clicking the 4 clubs menu tab. If you are a club executive, president, secretary, treasurer, so on, you should have access to the 4 clubs menu tab. Every command or every subsection in the gray bar below should be active for you. None of these listings should be grayed out for you. Now, let's say you log into the district site, you click the For Clubs menu tab, but then you have grayed out menu commands. So you must be correctly and properly defined as a club executive on the district site in order to have access to all the menu commands in the For Clubs menu tab. Let me kind of elaborate on that. I'm going to actually skip. I'm going to try to go in order as much as possible through these menus, but I'm going to skip the first one just for a moment, because if you are, let's say, club secretary, treasurer, etc., you log in, you click For Clubs, and there's grayed out menu commands in your For Clubs menu tab. I'm going to click on Define Club Executives. You must be correctly defined as a club executive on this list. If, let's say, the position of secretary is here, but the name is empty, and you know that you're secretary, you are not correctly defined, you'll have to get defined. In other words, you have to be listed on this list of club executives in order to have the access to do the things we're doing tonight. So I am correctly listed as a club executive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the first menu item in For Clubs, which is membership lists. I'm going to click right here on membership lists. I'm going to go to my club's active member list. Okay. And so the active member list, I'll just scroll down just slightly. Okay. So you can see this is where you'll manage your membership, your active members, your honorary members, and then we have all kinds of other special designations. So first, let's begin with active and honorary. This active member list will show you the active members, the honorary, as well as any special types of active membership. For example, a lot of clubs now are adopting active satellite members, active corporate members, and so on. So all of those members are defined here. You, if you're a club executive, you are able to help your club members out, meaning, for example, Jimmy Allen, I can click on Jimmy's member name and I can edit Jimmy's member profile. The member profile is kind of a main building block of the ClubRunner membership program. What I mean is every member has a member profile. Every member can edit their own member profile. It doesn't matter about the access level. So if I'm just a regular member, not a club executive, I can still go into the district. I can still edit my own personal member profile. If you're a club secretary or president, so on, you can edit other people's profiles for them. What I want to do is I'm going to click here on, now I'll show you very briefly. If I scroll down, a member profile has several tabs, personal, Rotary, biography, and so on. So in other words, a profile is actually much larger than it looks. So this is Jimmy's profile, but if I can actually click on his various sections, for example, Rotary and biography. If we have any questions, I'd love to circle back to a member profile, but I want to make sure we cover the topics we need to tonight. So what I'll do is I'm going to move my mouse to the top left again, and I'm going to click here on membership lists again. Okay, so the first thing I want to discuss in the active members list is I want to add a new member. Now, a person has joined our Rotary Club. There's two distinct ways you can add somebody. If the person who's joined your club is brand new to Rotary, and by that I mean they specifically do not have a Rotary member ID. Like this is their first time in a Rotary Club. You will click the orange Add New Member button. Now, I'll click it right now so you can see. Add New Member is for someone who's never been in Rotary before, because when you input this information, right, you can put them in and you don't have to worry about a Rotary member ID. What will happen is you input this person, right? You put in their information, their last name, their address, and so forth. A member profile will be generated for that new member inside ClubRunner, and then the member info will be sent to Rotary International. If your RI integration is turned on. We're going to talk about RI integration near the end. Let's just pretend that RI integration is turned on. So if it is, you input the info into ClubRunner. The info gets sent to my Rotary. My Rotary generates a member ID for this person, puts it back into ClubRunner, and there you go. You've added a brand new to Rotary member. So I'm going to click the go back button. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to click here on membership lists again. And I want to talk about the other way you can add a person. The new person or member you're adding, he or she has been in Rotary. In fact, they're coming from Rotary Club of, a nearby Rotary Club. There's a blue button, transfer new member. This is different. I'm going to click on transfer new member. So this is not someone brand new to Rotary. This person is coming from a Rotary Club nearby, or they come into town. If you click transfer new member, this blue button, you can search for that membership now. Because this is our testing site, I can't show you. I'm sorry about that. The transfer member is actually a search. You don't necessarily need to type anything in this transfer member. You can search the Rotary database. You can search by email, by the person's Rotary ID, or by the person's first and last name. And you can say, John Smith is coming into our club. He's from Rotary Club of Oakville or wherever he is. And he gave me his email address or his Rotary ID. I'm going to put that into the system. I'm going to do a search for John Smith. And you can add the member in this way by essentially taking the member's information that's already stored in Rotary. Remember, this is an existing Rotarian. You just take that information, bring it into ClubRunner. So this transfer member is different than add member. Okay, so add member, never been a Rotarian before. Transfer member, oh, they are a Rotarian. Let's go grab their existing information. There's no need to retype it in. Okay, I'm gonna click on membership lists again. Let's terminate a member on your district site. So from the membership list, you can list everybody's, you can see everybody's membership info. I'm going to take Jimmy Allen again. Let's pretend Jimmy Allen, he's moving, going to a different city. So he's going to be joining another Rotary Club in a different city. You need to terminate Jimmy Allen. The process to terminate any member is to find that person in your member list. I'm going to click here, the person's or the member's blue change status button. We can change James Allen or Jimmy Allen's status. I can terminate his membership. There are some other ways to change the status. Because it's the beginner webinar tonight, I'm just going to do terminate membership because I just want to terminate Jimmy. So if I click here, it will ask me for the reason. Is Jimmy moving, right? Or all the other reasons that you can type in. When is he leaving your club? When is he next member? This is actually very important. Unless there's a very specific and required reason, when you terminate any member, make sure that this is selected. Report termination to RI is selected by default. You don't need to really do anything, but please make sure that that option is selected. If I select do not report, what happens is I'll terminate Jimmy only in ClubRunner. The termination won't go to Rotary International. So make sure that this is selected. You just need to do a quick little glance. There's nothing for you to do. It's selected by default, and you would terminate the member. Now, I'm not going to actually do that, but this is the process to terminate a member. So I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to click on membership lists again. Okay, so we've talked about active, and we've talked about terminating a member. You have your honorary, obviously. You also have special types of membership. You have active satellite. Let me just show you. Let's pretend someone is joining your club and they're a corporate member. They're still an active member. They have to pay dues, but they're active corporate because they joined Rotary through their company for whatever reason. Now, this person, brand new to Rotary, never had a Rotary ID before. So if you remember, you click the orange add new member button. So in this way, you have your active membership, obviously you have your honorary. But when you add a new member, in this membership dropdown, I'm going to click on the word active, and you can actually see there's two other distinct types of membership: active membership, active satellite, and active corporate. So if someone is not just a standard active member, you can add satellite and corporate members as well into your club member list. Okay, I'm going to click on membership lists again. Now, that's fine for active members. What about unofficial members? So I'll give you some examples of unofficial Rotary Club members. In other words, they're not active, they're not honorary. An unofficial member might be someone who is helping you with your website or with just doing admin work, but they're not a member of your club. Another reason some people get put in this unofficial status is maybe this person is very interested in joining. They're a prospective member. That means they haven't paid any dues yet. They're not a member of your club, but they'd like to maybe, sign up for an event or join you for your Rotary Club activities. All the unofficial members, in other words, not active or not honorary, they go here in the other user list. I'm going to scroll up just for a moment. When you log in and click for clubs, membership lists, it will take you here by default to the active list. Running down the left side, I'm going to click this blue button, other user list. So the other user list is essentially, if you put aside active satellite and honorary, it's everybody else. Or is this person a staff person? Are they maybe an exchange student? Now this is interesting. This is a corporate member. Nancy Smith is a corporate member. I just said, wait, we have the active corporate, but remember, corporate memberships can be shared, and some corporate members do that. In other words, let's say 3 or 4 people from the company, they cycle coming to the meetings. So Nancy will come one week, Bob will come the other, next week, and so on and so forth. In this way, you can define one active corporate member. Let's say Bob is the person paying dues, and then you can define several other unofficial corporate members. Nancy, because she's here on the other user list, she does not pay dues. She won't show up on the attendance. So she's unofficial. She can still log in. She can still register for events and do some basic work, but she's not an official member of your club. And that's what this other user list is for. All right. So I'm going to scroll up. And remember that I'm sure you might have some more questions, so please do post in the Q&A. Michael is monitoring right now. I'm going to move on to the next section, which I already introduced, but I want to talk about it again. After membership lists is define club executives. So here is where your club defines club executives. Now, I'm logged in as an admin, so I have this nice little drop down where I can basically go edit all the clubs. Because I'm an administrator, I can edit any club I want. If you're not a district admin, you will not see this drop down. This will disappear. You'll just see your club previous year and so on. I'm going to scroll down just a bit so you can just get this on the screen. This list is hugely important on your district site. Here's why. Some people think, I'm inputting my secretary or whoever, sergeant at arms, and I'm going to use the term busy work. I've heard that on phone calls, do I have to do that? It feels like busy work. Here's why inputting your executives is so important and imperative. If you don't input your executives, right, as many as you can, as completely as you can, the district and Rotary will not know who they are. There are some clubs, they haven't input, not even all, they haven't input any of their executives. It can be a struggle sometimes to figure out who is that club's president or treasurer or secretary, what have you. So when you come here, you're not just adding names to a list, you're sharing the information with everybody up and down the chain, right? This data does not live on an island. Everything in ClubRunner is shared among club, district, and my Rotary. So please make sure to update your executive list. I'll do it very simply today to add a new position. I'm going to click here, and I can add a brand new position. You can see I've got a lot of positions added already here. So this list is kind of short because I've got my president, secretary, treasurer, public image chair. These are the remaining executive positions. I'm going to click cancel because most times you don't necessarily need to add a brand new position. You just need to edit an existing position. For example, the public image chair. I'm going to click edit and I need to add someone in there. So I will select a member, and let's say Misty is my public image chair. Select any member you'd like, and then click save. And what I've done is, let me scroll down so you can see it. So Misty is my public image chair. I have informed the district and inform my Rotary if our integration is turned on. I'm going to talk about that. So I have not just done one thing. I've actually toppled 3 dominoes, if you will, in a row. Club, district, and RI now know that Misty Food is your public image chair. So the list of your executives, as I mentioned before, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. This is what determines how much access they get on a district site. So so I just gave Misty access to the 4 clubs menu tab. Let's say she was a regular member before, no enhanced access. A lot of these commands would have been grayed out for her about 5 seconds ago, but now that I've added Misty in, she, as well as your other executives, can now access all these gray menus in the club executives list. And if someone is a top executive, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. President, secretary, actually, I'll leave it at president and secretary because I know those 2 positions. You are also giving them access to my Rotary. So if President Rusty or Secretary Charles logs into the My Rotary site, because they're correctly defined and Rotary now knows about them, they can log into My Rotary and do the work they need to do. So you're doing multiple things here by defining your club executives. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to click on Edit Club Information. Excuse me. We've edited the members. We've edited the executives. Oh, I'm sorry about that. No. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure why that's coming in skewed. Sorry about that. We're going to now talk about editing the club's overall information, meeting time, club logo, and all that. So when I log in and click on 4 clubs, and the 3rd gray button I clicked was Edit Club Information, it will bring me here onto the screen, which shows the skewed logo, which I will have to take a look at later. But so maybe it's because I'm zoomed in. I might be zoomed in just a bit too much. So what I'm going to do is we're going to edit our club information together. So I'm going to click here on Edit Club Info, and this is going to allow me to come to this screen and change a lot of items. So here, once again, I'm logged in as an admin, so you very likely won't see a drop-down list of clubs because you'll only have access to edit your club information. So I can put in, my president, who is my website. I'm going to scroll down to these boxes right here. I can edit any of these boxes. So what's my club name? When do we meet? I can add a map. Just as an example, right? I'm going to click in club details. I'm going to click edit. It brings up a little place for me to edit this information. And I can put in anything I want, right? What's our club greeting? Let's just say it's welcome to our club, right? And you can put in anything you'd like. Click save, and now this updates. So I'm going to scroll down, and there's a new club greeting. You use this club information screen to display your club meeting info. Now, you and some other clubs may be needing to provide online or hybrid meeting information. A lot of Rotary clubs these days, they're not just sticking to in-person. I mean, most are, but Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all kinds of different online resources are now available. So clubs either meet all online or they do some hybrid model. I'm going to click in the meeting section. I'm going to click the edit button. Okay. Sorry about my throat today. And what you can do is This is this kind of the standard meeting information. When do you meet? Where do you meet? That's always been there. There's a new section here, online meeting, or I should say relatively new. Ever since COVID, this has not been some kind of recommendation. It has been a requirement. Like I said, a lot of clubs, they need their hybrid meetings or what have you. So if your club meets online, you check this box, you can put in the meeting URL and you can put in private details. Okay. Private details is very important because if you need to put in something, let's say, for example, this meeting password, right? But you don't want to make that public, you can put it in private details and it will ask the user for their login so that they can see the private details. In other words, not all of this becomes public. You can put the private information into private details. And that way, only your members will have access to the online meeting passcode. And this online meeting section is can be very integral or important to a lot of growing clubs. And then, of course, the standard, if you meet at an actual restaurant or center, community center, you can put all that information in. Okay. I'm going to, oh, and by the way, just this last item, you can, if you change your address, you can update the latitude and longitude. Why? Because Google Maps and Apple Maps needs the latitude and longitude in order to place that little red pin on their map software. So if you update this, make sure to check this box and we will automatically figure out what your latitude and longitude is. I'm just going to hit cancel. And what I'm going to do is I want to keep going. Just very briefly, right? I know I didn't really mention this, but you can change your club logo, right? If you need to change your presidential theme, you can click here and you can edit. And what will happen is you can change this theme to next year's theme. So whatever you need to do, you can do that. I will click the back button on my browser. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to click on my For Clubs menu tab. We're going to keep going. I'm going to click on RI Integration New. I apologize about this. Now, what this is, and this is, I just want to kind of mention this briefly because it's very important, even as an introduction, for your club to know what RI integration is. RI integration is the process of connecting ClubRunner and my Rotary, or Rotary International, and having the two databases speak to each other. So in the past, what would happen is you normally, let's say you need to add a member or terminate a member, change someone's phone number, email, so on and so forth. You would do that in ClubRunner. The information would flow up to Rotary International. The case has now changed. What you can now do is you can input information anywhere in that chain, right? You can go to My Rotary, go to district, go to club, add a person, terminate a member at My Rotary, add a member at the club site. As long as RI database integration is turned on, the databases just talk to each other and they push information up and down this kind of ladder or chain. So make sure your RI database integration is turned on. I'm going to scroll down. Once again, this is our testing club, but I'm still going to talk about some important features here. If you see a yellow box like this that says, essentially, RI integration is not turned on, we have the steps for you to begin the integration setup process here. You need to go to myrotary.org. You need to choose ClubRunner as your vendor partner. Usually, you need to wait about 24 hours. After 24 hours, you'll come back here. This yellow box will change into a green box with a check mark that says turn on our integration. And it's outlined, of course, in greater detail here. Today is just an introduction. So make sure your club is integrated, has our integration turned on. If, let's say, you're the secretary, the president, the membership chair, what have you, you're not sure of the steps or you tried it and you're having issues, please make sure to contact support@clubrunner.ca. We will be showing you how to contact us at the end of this webinar. please contact us. We will help you with any task in your club or district, big or small, because that's our jobs. And we love hearing from anyone, especially anyone who's frustrated or confused or not sure where to go. So make sure your R integration is turned on. I'm just going to mention an RI notification contact or the integration notification contact. What that means, when you do some RI integration, it can be any activity. For example, add a member, terminate a member, edit someone's member profile and change their address or home phone. This is all the information that gets shared and gets pushed up and down in the database. If that change was successful, in other words, if it's synced correctly between club, district, and RI, you will not get a notification. It's great. You change John's phone number, you added Marie as a new member, you've done whatever you needed to do for your membership. It was successful, fantastic. If there are issues, that's when we send a notification email to the notification contact. Who is the notification contact? In other words, who's getting these emails that are saying you tried to input Susan Smith as a new member, but it hasn't synced, it hasn't gone through successfully? Who gets that email? It's usually the current year secretary, typically. It doesn't have to be. You can choose. I'm going to click this little drop down. You can choose a position. I can choose to send it to, for example, my membership chair instead of my secretary, or you can choose to send it to a specific member. But whenever, let's just pretend I'm going to send it to my membership chair. The membership chair will now be emailed every time there are issues, only issues, never successful, always just an issue. If there's any issues with our integration, the membership chair will get an email, and that's who the RI notification contact is, or what the function is. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. Now, there's a lot more to cover with our integration. Tonight was just to kind of introduce you to this concept. I'm going to skip a command. I know I'm skipping missing RI member ID. Actually, no, I don't. I'm going to click missing RI member ID. Let's go through this. We're okay for time. So I'm going to click on this button. Okay. If a member in your club does not have a valid member ID, it will show up in this report. So you don't have to go member by member and try to find, did Bob and Mary and Sue and Frank, do they have Rotary IDs? You can click on missing RI member ID report and it'll say, you know what, Susan doesn't have a member ID. Our club is doing great. All of our active members have a RI membership number. And that's what this command does. Now I want to talk about the club attendance report. It's right here. I'm going to click on club attendance report. It's going to take me to a breakdown of my club's attendance. I have to make this screen a bit smaller so everything will fit. So I'll go like this and just make it, sorry, the screen is a little smaller now. Okay. You can input basic attendance on the district site. So if you're, let's say, club secretary or membership chair, what have you, you come to the district, you click on for clubs, right? That special tab, and then you click on club attendance report. What this screen keeps track of, it's just attendance percentages. In July, right? Here's the number of members. We added a new member. We terminated, I don't know, 2 members, and we had 4 meetings, and our attendance percentage for the month was 80%. And you can save this, and you can input your attendance for that month. What district attendance does not allow you to do is to keep track of individuals' club attendance. This report shows your overall percentages. It will not show Frank and Mary and Sue and Bob's individual attendance numbers. That happens if the club has a club level website. The club level website attendance module is much more elaborate than the district level attendance module. I I guess I'll say the bonus for this is there's no cost to the club. Everything you're seeing here, right? All these commands that we're talking about is available to all clubs, whether your club has a club subscription or not. So there's advantages to either. I'm going to move on from attendance, and I'm going to click on oh, actually, I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm going to click on RI member synchronization. And once again, I apologize. I know the list is blank. Tonight is just an introduction. So I'm going to describe what this list is. The RI compare and synchronize screen is a list of your entire membership. What it does is it says, okay, there are members in sync, meaning John and Mary and Frank and Sue and Bob, they have a member profile in ClubRunner, and they have a matching profile in myrotary.org. Fantastic. The member ID matches, they're more or less in sync. That's what you want. The goal is to have 100% of your members in sync. And I'm sorry, I know you can't see right here. But this page will also list who is out of sync. What is, this person is missing this or missing that. So this compare and synchronize screen can be really useful to help find and troubleshoot our integration issues. Okay, so, and we will absolutely be getting into this more in depth in our advanced level webinar, but I'm just trying to make sure that we have time or I don't go over time. Okay, so I'm now going to click, I'm sorry, hopefully it's not too much out of order. I'm going to click on Member Updates Archive. All right, this is a member integration archive. Okay, what is a member integration archive? When you edit someone's profile and you change a numerous amount of things, update their home address or add a member, terminate a member, change someone's address, all the things you can do. The member integration archive is a log of what you are changing. So I have updated Michael's home address. It is listed here. I have, for example, Sean, right? I've added Sean as a new member. It's listed here. So all the activities you do to people's member profiles, including adding and terminating people, it's all logged in the member integration archive. So if, just as an example, if someone was terminated by accident, right? You can, let me scroll up to the top. You can go to 4 clubs. You can go to member updates archive. You can even search for the member by name, right? And then you can figure out when was this person terminated, who terminated that person, in other words, there's a log of all the member update activity inside the member integration archive. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. And you can, once again, I'm logged in as an admin, so I have access to other clubs. I'll just show you very quickly, right? You will not get this club drop down because you're probably not a website admin, but you'll definitely get all the members, right? You can choose your member. You can even choose, well, when was this person added, right? When was, let's choose someone else, Antonin, when was Antonin added? And you have a date range, right? If Antonin was not added by February 3rd, so I'm actually going to go back in time. Let's see if we can find out when Antonin was added. So I'm going to click show and let's just see if we have a log of that. So I might not be going back in time far enough. So that's how this member integration archive works. Okay, I want to talk about the Club Updates archive. So I'm going to click here on the Club Updates archive. This is for all the oh, I'm sorry. Apologies here. All right, give me one moment, please. Sorry about that. I'm just going to try again. So I'm going to click 4 clubs, and I'm going to click the Club Updates archive. Okay. And I'm sorry. It says Club Integration Archive. I missed that. Sorry about that. What club information have you changed? That is also logged. We changed, our address. We changed, whatever we needed to change. That also gets logged. So if someone changed the meeting address, but you're not sure who, come to the Club Updates archive. You'll have a log. You can see what happened and when. And then I'm going to talk about RI Updates Archive, and I know we're watching the clock, so I want to make sure Michael has some Q&A time. The RI Updates Archive, what it does is essentially it's a log of is something about to happen. Did you add a member, but maybe it'll take some time to add them in? Come check the RI Updates Archive. You can actually see, what's happening in terms of activity. So if someone you've added the person, you've done your work in ClubRunner, but the databases are still thinking about it, or what happens sometimes, especially when you add a member, if they're brand new to Rotary, every once in a while, a human being at Rotary.org just needs to take that over and assign that person a member ID. It's usually automatic, but not always. So in other words, there's a bit of a queue, right, to see to add that member. This is the RI Updates Archive. You can come, you can see what's happening. Okay, the executive compare and synchronize. What this is it's a way for you to compare who are the executives in ClubRunner and are they correctly defined in My Rotary as well. Now, once again, I'm sorry, this is a testing demo site. What you would do here on the left side, it will list president, secretary, treasurer, and on the right side, it would list your what's in RI. And so sometimes, the president is listed in ClubRunner, but for whatever reason, they didn't make it to RI, or someone's Wi-Fi dropped, or, all the myriad reasons why someone may not be in sync. You can sync your executives on this page. And I'm sorry, I can't show you, but once again, this will absolutely be covered in the advanced module. So I'm going to scroll up, and what I'm going to do is I am going to end this portion of the presentation. So I want to make sure that Michael has some time for Q&A. So what I'll do is I will stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to let Michael take over so that he can handle some Q&A. All right.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Mickey, for the wonderful webinar today. I'm sure you definitely went over a lot of information. I'm sure everyone here has definitely learned something new. While you were going through the webinar, we did receive a handful of questions that I've gone through, and I've answered. I've tried to answer them to the best of my abilities during the webinar. And there are a couple that I wanted to go over with you live on or during the webinar. So let's go ahead and we can jump into it. Let me go ahead. I will share my screen here. There we go. So everyone should be able to see my screen. We are right back into the same testing website that Mickey was using earlier. And the very first question that I want to go over has to do with your list of executives and directors. So one of the questions particularly pertains to what Mickey said earlier about how your executive positions will be the ones that have access to come in and actually manage your club's membership. Well, one of the questions that we received was, which executives actually have access? There are a handful of executive roles. Do all of them have access, or is it only really specific ones? Well, for the most part, it is, in fact, any executive position that you can go ahead and you can enter into the system. So if we were to go back to our 4 clubs and then define club executives, and we take a look at our list here, you can see we have a bunch of executive positions, like our president, co-president, secretaries, and our treasurers. These are executive positions. Now, it is important to note, however, these positions are created and controlled by the district itself. So some of them might be listed as an executive, some of them might be listed as a director. In that case, only the executive positions have that access, And if you're not too sure which ones would classify as an executive position, I would recommend that you reach out to your district directly, and they'll be able to go ahead and help you pinpoint those exactly. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question here. This is a general question about going through and adding members to ClubRunner. So we received a question. Is it recommended to add new members in ClubRunner or in RI, Rotary International? I know Rotary International recommends to go there first and let it populate down to ClubRunner. What do you say at ClubRunner? So generally, what we'll generally say to you is that you pick whichever one you feel is best for your situation. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that Rotary has all of your up-to-date information, as they're the ones that are handling all of your club dues and club information and stuff like that. So it's most important that they have that data. Now, Mickey did go through this during the webinar, but there is the RI integration service, which we didn't get to go into super in-depth, as this is just an introductory webinar. But with that service, any changes that you make in ClubRunner are automatically sent over to Rotary International, and it will be updated in their system as well. Additionally, we very recently rolled out a service called RI Integration True Synchronization, which makes it work in the opposite direction as well. So if you were to go into Rotary International services and then update your membership information through them, it will all automatically be pulled directly back into ClubRunner, provided that you have RI integration and this true sync feature enabled. So again, you can generally pick which one you want to go through with and using, but that RI integration service will help to make it so that it doesn't really matter which one you go through and use. As long as you update its setup and it's updated in either system, it will generally be updated in both. Here is another question that we received. When you go about transferring a member to your club, do you need any authorization from the transferring club? And generally what that process is of transferring those members. So as per Rotary, and how the process generally works throughout ClubRunner, is that the member that you are working to transfer in into your own club will first need to be terminated from their previous club and listed as an inactive member. As long as they are not currently an active member of any club, you will be able to use that transfer member search tool that Mickey showed you earlier by going to For Clubs, Membership Lists, and then Transfer New Member. You'll be able to search up their information, and again, provided they are not listed as an active member of the club, you can pull their information and add them as a member of your own. I see another question here. Could you cover the access levels of authority to make changes to club info? So generally, this might be something that you have seen when you're looking at at member profiles or anything like that. So if we go to our membership list again, you'll see this access column here. And if we go into any of these members' profiles and navigate to the settings tab, you will also see a club access level. If your club is making use of the district website, then you generally don't have to worry about this access level whatsoever. These access levels are only used if your club has its own ClubRunner subscription and its own ClubRunner website. As far as the district website is concerned, the only way to gain access to make changes to your club info and your membership is by being listed as and defined as one of the club executives, like the president, secretary, or treasurer. Here's another question. If a person has two positions, for example, secretary and special projects, how is it reflected in ClubRunner? Well, that's something that you can definitely do in the system. So for example here, Charles Hampton is currently listed as our club secretary. All we need to do is add a new position. We can select one of these different positions that are available. So let's say they are also a club administrator, but their specific title here is the webmaster. They go ahead and they control, for example, any public information or public resources for the club, and they manage and control any of that, any like online information. You can go ahead and enter in those position names and titles, and then we can go ahead and just select them from the list of our members. Go ahead and click Save. And now we can see Charles Hampton is listed both as the club secretary and as the webmaster. Let's see here. And then while we're on this page, one final question before we get going. What is the difference between a title and a position for your club executives? This allows you to kind of go through and customize the way that your positions are held. So as I mentioned a little bit before, the individual positions that you see when adding a new role to your club, this is defined by the district. And there will generally be some specific ones like president, secretary, and treasurer, but there might also be some generic roles like this club administrator one. These are set in stone and defined by the district. But with the title, you can go ahead and you can change whatever that role name is to fit your club a little bit better. For example, we have our club administrator, Charles Hampton, but their very specific title is the webmaster. So that using that title, you can go ahead and customize that to however you see fit. And then I did just see this question as well. So I'll cover this since we are on the same page. If there is a succession plan for 3 years down the road, can we have a president-elect nominee for, say, 2 years? Like 2 years in the future? Some districts might provide you with a position that will allow you to track that information within the current Rotary year. So in that case, you might want to double check to see if that is available for you to use. However, the way that ClubRunner will generally work is that you can go in and define the club positions for each individual Rotary year. So for example, we are currently in the 2023-2024 Rotary year. Say we want to go ahead and we want to start putting in the succession plan or the executives for the next upcoming years instead of the current year. Well, next to where the Rotary year display, we can go ahead and click on previous year to go back a year, or next year to go forward to 2024-2025. And as you can see, we already have some of these individuals listed here for us. So we can see in the 2024-2025 Rotary year, Aaron Aronson is going to be our club president. We can do the same thing for 2025-2026, 2026-2027, 2027 to 2028, and so on and so on. So you're always able to go in and add this information into the system so you can have that succession plan available. So with all of that said, I don't see any other questions really coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Oh, sorry, Mickey.
Before you do, I'm sorry to interrupt, Michael. Bob had actually a really interesting point in the Q&A. I left it open. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Michael. He's asking, can ClubRunner issue a RI member number? Sorry about that.
Oh, no, thank you very much, Mickey. I actually had missed that one completely. So that is partially correct. ClubRunner is not able to go ahead and issue a RI member number or ID. However, with the RI integration service, the way that it functions is that if you were to go ahead and add a member to your club through ClubRunner, that individual will be added in a record will be created them in ClubRunner. With the RI integration service, their data will be sent over to Rotary International. Rotary International will then generate and issue a Rotary member number for that member. And then they will send it back to ClubRunner and automatically insert it into their new ClubRunner profile. So while it is true that ClubRunner cannot issue a RI member number, that process is handled throughout the RI integration service. And adding a member through ClubRunner, there was no issues on that front. So that was a very good question. And again, Mickey, thank you very much for interrupting me there. That was a very good question to get out. So with that said, I will go ahead and wrap it up there then. Thank you everyone for joining us today for the club admin training on the district website webinar. If you have any additional questions that we might not have been able to get to today, or something that you might not have thought of until later on, or if you're just running into any issues in general, please feel free to send us an email to contact our support team at support@clubrunner.ca. You can also go to clubrunnersupport.com for all of our help articles and submitting tickets and stuff like that there as well. So thank you everyone again for joining, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Take care.